I don't know. It says partial.
They're not perishable. They're just a little toxic.
I don't know if we are or not. Yeah. Oh, boss. Emma, is Manny on? I'm about to start a meeting. If I have a quorum, I'll call you back. Okay. Dee Dee on? Yay, Dee Dee. One more? Is she here?
Everybody's ready to. This is ridiculous. So where's, everybody else? Justin's family's sick. I mean, Dennis Tim's sick. He's at the front instead of responding to my text. You know, he just said he wasn't coming. And what about Monica? He's either not coming, but he'll be on Zoom. But so far, he's not on Zoom either. So don't, it'll be what it'll be. We'll have 15 minutes.
My apologies to everyone in house and everyone listening to the meeting on YouTube and on the radio. We're waiting on fellow counselors. So please bear with us. Thank you. I guess I better mute my stuff. The keyword be relatively.
Yeah, I mean, that's better than
Yeah,
not,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
I'll let you know.
Who is AJ Hall? Oh, that's Charles Bennett. Uh-oh, Counselor Mani's on.
Are you able to hear me, Counselor?
Yes, I do. I'm pleased to hear you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go ahead and commence. Call this meeting to order. The time is 6:04. Thank you all for your patience. Welcome to the city of Española. Those of you that are in-house, we're honored to have you here. Could I call for a pledge of allegiance before we do the roll call, please? Allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for invocation. Pastor, could you please do the invocation? Come to the microphone, please. Please.
Heavenly Father, thank you for this time that we have to come together as a community. We come before you beseeching your favor, beseeching your mercy and kindness as we come together to look at our town, as we are able to speak before your presence. I pray that your blessing would be upon us, that your mercy would be with us, and that we would be able to that this town would be blessed, the city of Hispaniola would be blessed by the power of your mercy, by your grace. In the name of Jesus, we pray.
Please remain
Amen.
standing to recognize the passing of Mr. Max Vigil. He's a resident of the city of Espanola all of his life, served in the Korean War, recently passed away residing in San Pedro. So we'd like to honor his memory. Again, that name is Max Vigil. Thank you all. Thank you, Pastor.
It's closed, but it's unlocked.
Who is online that I'm hearing? Okay. Could we please have a roll call, Madam Clerk?
Mayor Pro Tem Peggy Sue Martinez,
I'm honored to be with you all.
Councilors Dennis Tim Salazar,
Counselor is not going to attend due to being ill.
Justin Salazar Torres,
He's not going to be able to attend. Unfortunately, he's still at work.
Manuel J. Martinez,
Present?
Denise D. Benavides,
Present.
Dorothy D. Valdez, Aaron J. Salazar,
Present.
Nanette D. Rodriguez.
Present.
Thank you, Council, for attending. We appreciate your diligence in getting to these meetings. Thank you all who are in-house. We certainly appreciate you all being here. Pleasure of the board. We have an agenda before you. The consent agenda will be voted as one issue.
Motion to approve, ma'am?
Second.
Under discussion, does anybody have any discussion on it? If there's no discussion, we'll call for a roll call vote.
Peggy Sue Martinez, Pro Tem.
I'll yield to my fellow councilors and vote last, please.
Okay. Councilors Manuel J. Martinez,
For the motion?
Denise D. Benavides,
In favor.
Aaron J. Salazar,
In favor.
Nanette D. Rodriguez. Motion carries. Yes,
Come back to me.
Mayor Pro Tem
Thank you.
Peggy Sue Martinez.
Also in favor. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Yes.
They're having problems hearing us on KDC. Is my understanding. Do you know anything about that, Madam Clerk? Okay, we'll go ahead and move on. Next item is the consent agenda. All of the meeting minutes are posted that are going to be approved. November 8th, 2022, June 14th, 15th, and 16th of 2022, May 10, 11, 17, and 24th of 2022. Do I hear a motion for approval of this consent agenda?
Motion to approve, ma'am?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Nanette D. Rodriguez,
For the motion.
Counselor Aaron J. Salazar,
In favor.
Counselor Denise D. Benavides,
In favor.
Counselor Manny J. Martinez,
In favor?
Mayor Pro Tem Peggy Sue Martinez.
Also in favor, thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have people signed up for public comment?
Yes, we do.
How many people do we have signed?
About 16,
16 people?
15 to 16, correct. And I have two emails that were sent in as well.
So about 18 altogether?
Correct.
Being that there's a lot of people, this board could limit the time to 2 minutes, but I'll leave it up to the council. What's your pleasure? It's either 3 minutes or 2 minutes, whatever your pleasure is.
3 minutes sounds fine.
To 3 minutes, I think would be fine.
All right, thank you, Counselor Manny. Thank you, Counselor. And we'll go ahead and limit comments to 3 minutes each person. I know that a lot of you are here about the same issues, so I guess we'll get started. Thank you. Go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Beth Likens and James Martinez sent the email. So we had 2 constituents unable to attend city council meeting tonight, in which the clerk's department received their statement via email. My name is Beth Likens, and I live at 602 East Fairview Lane. I wanted to say that the fence between our property and the neighboring trailer park has repeatedly been torn down, and we have experienced theft repeatedly. Our catalytic converter, a solar security light, a solar panel, a $500 chainsaw, and a trailer hitch have been stolen at various times over the 4 years since we have lived in Espanola. I am a licensed mental health counselor, and I work in the community with people experiencing addiction and homelessness. And I have watched as these issues and the accompanying crimes that come with addiction has drastically increased in the short time I have lived here. I love Espanola, and it breaks my heart when I see and personally experience these impacts on the community. Behind each crime, each addiction, and each victimization is a hurt person. As the glitch goes, in quotes, hurt people, and on and on. Please, as a community and as individuals who love this town, let's put aside our differences and our preconceptions and come together and stop this cycle and help one another. Let's help our public servants, including you, members of the City Council, create a humane community that is a counterpart to the wave of crime and addiction that is drowning Espanola. Let's fund our public servants and our agencies that are here in this community so that no one feels the need to break down my fence and steal my things to turn into cash in order to feed an addiction. I say this not to speak for myself, but for you and you, our neighbors. As a wise man said, in quotes, be the change you want to see. We need an active, well-funded, ethical, and present police force to make these changes happen. My experiences with Espanola public servants, police or otherwise, have been unanimously positive, but the fact that crime is growing unfettered tells me that the public institutions are overworked, underpaid, and unfortunately not able to keep up the demands put on them. If we don't start putting our resources towards addressing the root causes of addiction, homelessness, and crime in Espanola, we will become the town the rest of the state thinks we are. And I, for one, don't want this to happen. I love Espanola, and I want to feel safe, and I work toward helping Espanola be what I know it can be underneath the problems. The next one would be James Martinez. We need to do something about the criminals stealing stuff, and we need to get a homeless shelter for the homeless people so they're not burning down people's houses, so they have somewhere to stay warm, to like a shelter. We need a shelter in Espanola, and the city council members need to understand that we need to start a shelter for those homeless people. If we had a homeless shelter, I think the community wouldn't have that much crime happening like it does now, because the cops ain't doing anything about the criminals. I have had stuff stolen from me, and the police have not came back to question me or to even say, yay, we found your stuff, or any of that stuff. And I would like myself to be read out tonight because we need to do something as a community, and we need to get this done. Next up would be Bethany B.
Hello.
Good evening.
I'm gonna mention the prayer. I don't care tonight because that isn't an issue to me anymore. Right now, I'm currently,
Miss Bethany, could you please state your name for the record, first and last?
Bethany Bratley. It's on there. Oh, 1106 North Riverside Drive. So, this has been bothering me for a while. I want to know who pulled the trigger on the Santa Clara. I know that was done earlier than it was supposed to be. So, as everybody was enjoying their Thanksgiving, you had people out there getting removed from their homes, scrambling to figure out a place to live. I've been homeless myself in Chicago in winter. I know what it feels like. I have never been so disappointed in a city in my life. Every meeting that I've gone to, I heard Santa Clarans not getting closed for another month. We're okay. We're going to help them find a place. We're going to help them find a place. We're going to help them find a place. I call bullshit. Lies. Shame on you. And I hope the mayor's listening. Shame. These families were put in the street. These families were put into a hotel. Some were scrambling with their children to find a place to go. Not everybody in that place is a scumbag. Not everybody in Cooks is a scumbag. Some of us are hardworking, but we can't get out because it's all we can afford. So let me tell you, you tell me that you guys care about the citizens. I've heard that from the mayor so much, I want to vomit at this point. What happened does not show care for citizens at all. The money that I just saw, this big thing on somebody's Facebook about how they got this humongous grant to repaint a fountain and refurbish a fountain, when that money could go to expand that homeless shelter that's over there by Goodwill. That money could have gone towards, the 2 apartments that were posted for rent conveniently popped up, of course, after Santa Clara and everybody was removed, when maybe they could have offered those 2 apartments to one of those wonderful families. Instead, they got vouchers, because that helped. I want to say that I have been around some of the most scandalous politicians. I'm from Chicago. Our governors have ended up in federal penitentiary. But I don't like the way that this was pulled off. Something's not adding up in that.
Time is up, Bethany.
Ms. Bethany,
Thank you.
Appreciate your comments. Next.
I would like to add that if the
You're out of order, ma'am. You're out of order. Go ahead, call the next person, please.
Cynthia Lenteni.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start with the definition of leadership. Cynthia Lentini, 209 South Coronado Avenue. I'd like to start with the definition of leadership, which I think is lacking here. The ability to capture the imagination and enthusiasm of people with clearly defined goals. What are the city's goals these days? Continuing with what Bethany began, the Santa Clara closure, I agree that the apartments were a slum and that no human being should be forced to live that way, but where was the city in all the years that that was taking place? How could this body allow themselves to stand with a clear falsehood in front of the public and say they were going to give people another 30 days? That is ridiculous. You let everyone down. You let us down, you let yourselves down. Okay, that's number one. Number two, regarding the fountains, the refurbishment of the fountains. I'm sorry, but I understand that we're very short-handed here at the City of Espanola. There is a better way to use the few resources we have for grant writing. Who is approving this? Why are we writing grants for the refurbishment of a fountain when we have people with children living in their cars that we are responsible for putting there? Okay? Number two, the sanitation services. I am sorry for what I'm about to say here, but I am really upset. When a constituent calls and says they have a problem with their sanitation, and the sanitation director calls them back and leaves them a message expressing that they were kind enough to do them the service of picking up their trash this time. But next time you might not be so lucky if you don't follow the rules. What are the rules exactly? Where is the customer service? And I have expressed this before. We need to know how to speak to one another, and we need to know how to speak to the constituents. Your constituents are losing faith in all of you, not only because some of the very questionable hires that have occurred here, not only because we suddenly developed a new director position just out of the blue, not only because of the nepotistic hires, but because of the lying, the gaslighting. This is ridiculous. No one should have to tolerate this. I, for one, want nothing to do with the city sanitation services. I don't want you picking up my trash. I don't want you at my house. I will pay my neighbor $50 a month to take 2 full bins, empty them in their entirety at the transfer station. I would prefer to give my neighbor a little honest jale than to argue with the city.
Thank you, Cynthia. Your time is up.
Thank you.
Miguel Medina.
Please don't ask me to sit down because I don't want to sit down, okay?
Sir,
You know, a while ago when I came in this place,
Sir, please.
justice,
sir,
what?
can you please tell me your full name and address, sir?
Okay, my name is Miguel.
On the
Medina.
microphone, sir, so she can get it.
My name is Miguel Medina. My name is Miguel Medina. And the first thing I noticed about this meeting,
Your address, sir.
when you said that justice for all, where is the justice?
Mr. Medina, we need your address, sir.
816 Chamisa Street. But all I see was smiling faces, happy faces, and I see a lot of people with long faces, no? But, because they're mad and I'm pissed as hell. I am so fucking pissed.
Sir,
But you
You're
know
out of
why?
order.
Somebody's treating me wrong. Somebody's treating all these people wrong. Little children, young folks, ladies, you throw them out in the street on a cold night, on a holiday coming and all that. Hey, I pay my rent. Everybody pays their rent on time. We don't deserve this kind of treatment over here, man. I love the Española. When I came over here, they told me, hey, man, Española's good. I like the people, yeah, because they're like old folks and they got their old outhouses. They still eat tortillas, frijoles, papas. I'm eating bologna. I'm eating Roman noodles now. I don't have a house. They took it away from me. For why? I don't know why. Because that damn landlord that's up there, I don't know, he thinks he's God or something. That's what I got for him. And if he wants to see me right here, he can see me. If he wants to confront me, he wants to, okay, I'm here, man. I'm a human, I'm not an animal. I don't deserve to be, like a fucking dog, man. Throw him outside.
sir, could you please be respectful?
Okay, I'm
There's
sorry.
children in the room.
Just throw him outside. Throw him outside, put him out in the cold, man. You know, like animals, you know. We're not animals, man. We're flesh. We're humans. We have feelings. We are hurt. All of us are hurt. You know, I am so pissed, man, really, man. Española, like she said, hey, you guys could do something about it. You never did, man. Just turn your face around the other way, man. Cops are afraid to go over there. I seen it. I know a lot of people call the police department because they told me, hey, and nobody goes over there. Why? Because they don't care. Because they don't got the guts, man, as a police officer to take care of people like us, man. These are good people, man. But not no more, man. I ain't staying here no more. I'm getting out. because I found out that the city council, the Española, when you want to vote, oh yeah, they're there. When you want to rent, oh yeah, they're there, man. I'm there. But now, where are they? Hey, they turned their face around, man. We need help. Where are they? Oh man, just, hey, forget them, man. They're just a bunch of drug addicts. I ain't a drug addict. There's a lot of people here that ain't drug addicts. They work for their life.
Time's up, Miguel.
Medina.
Thank you. Jesus Franco.
Jesus Franco? Who's after them, Madam?
Marcy Davis.
Thank you, Ms. Davis.
Hello,
Please state your name and your address for the record.
my name is Marcy Davis. My address is 1324 Lomita Lane, here in Española. I'm here today actually to express my thanks to the entire city council, to Mayor Vigil, our city manager, the fire chief, the police chief, and big kudos to our code enforcement officer, Armando Rodriguez, for the important work that you've done lately to keep citizens safe. I actually wanted to speak about a couple of other issues. One was the panhandling ordinance that was, I don't remember when it was passed, but recently. I think that's been a boon to our city. I feel safer not being approached by aggressive panhandlers. I feel more comfortable allowing my teenage sons and daughter to do basic things in our city, like go to the store or go get gas during the day or even in the evening. While I miss the convenience of being able to grab a newspaper as I guiltily roll by while the vendor's balancing on that 6-inch median, I understand the need to ensure the safety of all of our citizens. So that people are not balancing precariously on that median, thank you for keeping us safe there as well. Again, that's why I'm here, to applaud you all for your commitment to keep all our citizens safe. We have an unfortunate situation with the Santa Clara apartments, and it has been ongoing for many years. The Santa Clara apartment closure, while difficult, was frankly your job as leaders in our community. And you can argue that other leaders should have done that, but that's your job right now. As a former teacher, I've visited students who resided in the apartment complex, and I witnessed firsthand the abhorrent conditions, safety and health issues that were there, that those residents faced. Our city needs to hold negligent landlords accountable for ensuring that their residents that they profit off of are in a safe and a healthy residence. It's unacceptable that our city is catching the flack for the fact that the landlord of this apartment complex has chosen to ignore numerous life and fire and safety issues that his property has received for years. A home has to be safe. We wouldn't allow our schools to have the issues that this apartment complex had and send our children there. It is the charge of our city officials, fire and police, as well as code enforcement to ensure that all citizens are safe. This is unpopular when it has to be enforced. But again, the violation is not our city, but the negligent property owner. Thank you for your support in keeping our residents safe.
Thank you, Ms. Davis.
Ann Martinez.
Welcome.
Please state your name and address.
My name is Ann Martinez, and I'm 1324 Lomita Lane, Española, New Mexico. I just want to thank the city for their leadership and having to take unpopular, decision to do what they had to do at the Santa Clara Apartments. I really feel bad for some citizens that are, good citizens who aren't drug dealers or whatever, but they had to catch the flack of a negligent landlord. Yeah, I wouldn't want, the safety of my children. I mean, if I had I would, thank you for keeping our kids safe. I'm sure you have kids from Fairview Elementary. I'm also a former teacher. And I understand that the conditions were just deplorable. And unfortunately, you could say it was during Thanksgiving, whenever, but when is ever a good time? A fire could happen at any time and hurt innocent people. So, and I appreciate you helping them and getting vouchers. Now, where that went, I don't know, but you did help. Again, thank you for your customer service. Someone mentioned, you actually got grants to beautify some parts of the Espanola. There's nothing wrong with that. People use the city to create memories, have prom pictures in front of the fountains, stuff like that. Why should we have to suffer? People that are paying their dues and want to live in a safe city. Again, I also want to publicly thank the code enforcement officer, Armando, who has actually really followed through in some deplorable dwellings in our neighborhood. It's really helped with the drug, whatever's going on in these dwellings, and I feel a little bit safer with their condemning these buildings that we live next to. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
Deborah Martinez.
Good evening. State your name and address for the record, please.
Deborah Martinez, 1000 Calle Chamizal. I'm here to give thanks. I want to take this opportunity to thank Mayor Vigil, City Manager Jordan Yahtzee, for standing firm in shutting down the Santa Clara apartment complex. The apartment complex was not a safe place for these good people to live in. And it wasn't a safe place for even the surrounding neighborhood. The property was a nuisance and a magnet for attracting violent crimes. The city fined the owner $11,000 for the high number of false alarm calls in 2021. But what's not being said is what the neighborhood and the neighbors had to put up with while the complex was being occupied. Let me just give you a few examples. Either residents or non-residents were using the parking lot to do their drug exchange and shooting up. There was drug trafficking, domestic fights in the parking lot. Mind you, this was being done while the children were playing in the playground. Gunshots at all hours of the day and night, every day of the week, guaranteed, especially on weekends. Trespassing, the foot traffic crossing over the private properties to get to the apartment complex or leaving the apartment complex to get to McCurdy Road was just constant. There was no regard to private property. There was no respect. They jump over your fence, they cuss you out and in your property. The Santa Clara apartment complex was an attraction for criminal behavior, and what was most notable was the police and fire department constantly at that complex, guaranteed every day, twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. Mayor, city manager, and community leaders, in spite of the negative comments you may have received for shutting down the complex that wreaked havoc on the residents and the surrounding neighborhood, I want to say thank you for supporting the safety and well-being of the citizens. One other thing, I want to express my gratitude to our law enforcement, our first responders, for their service. Also, I want to thank Council Member Denise Benavides for all her hard work and for returning my phone calls, and I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez.
Michelle Sandoval.
My name is Michelle Sandoval, 816 Kaya Chamisan. I don't have now an address that I can call home. I'm living at a hotel. I'm displaced. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I have other issues. My health isn't good. But the Santa Clara apartment wasn't all bad. We weren't all drug addicts. My granddaughter lived there with me 3 days out of the week. I would take her outside to play. If I didn't feel it wasn't safe for her to be out there, I went to taking her outside. You know, we are good people. We were a family there. And now we're living out of a hotel. I can't cook. I can't even eat right for my diabetes. But you guys made us homeless. Even though they say that it was a bad place, it wasn't. Because we were not all drug addicts. We were all good people there. You know, there was some, but not all were. We were a family. And now, vouchers haven't even come in. I've been calling Miriam. And oh, they're coming. I haven't gotten it. You know, and I want to live here in Espanol. I was born and raised here. My parents were born and raised. My father worked at Cook's for 42 years. My mother worked at the hospital for 25 years. You know, but this is the only place that I could afford, that they went by my income. And now I got to live out of a hotel. Didn't get to have Thanksgiving dinner with my family that I cooked every year. And now Christmas is coming. My granddaughter asked me, Grandma, is Santa Claus going to come this year? Are you going to have a tree? Do you know how hard it is for me to tell her? But there will be Christmas for her because I will provide it. But not all of us were bad people. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
John Wickersham. And Jack.
John Wickersham, President Zach Logston, 806 Vietnam Veterans. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, City Councilor, City Manager. I just wanted to bring Zach Logston, President Logston, in to give us an update on the breast cancer sales. And I just want to thank the City Manager for his commitment and dedication to the city. If you could notice, one of the action items is the La Jolla project. We've worked a long time on this project, and I just want to thank him for everything he's done for the city and what he continues to do. There's things that happen day to day that are unseen, and he's there making things happen. So I just want to thank him. I want to thank the mayor, and I want to thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, also for Public Safety Chair. We've gotten a lot accomplished in that committee, and I just want to thank you for that. La Jolla is a huge project, and we're looking forward to a new station, and we're glad that it's finally on the agenda. So here's President Logston.
Yeah, thank you guys, Honorable Mayor Pro Tem.
State your name for
Zach Logston, 806 Vietnam Veterans Way. Mr. City Manager, governing body, thank you guys for the time. I just want to echo what Assistant Chief Wickersham said. This project for La Jolla Street, getting that fire station redone, is a really big deal for morale with the fire personnel. You guys have probably all been there, seen it. It's a nice building, but it needs to be redone, and we really thank you guys, especially you, Mr. City Manager, and the mayor and the council for working on that. It's really going to raise the morale in the department, and it's going to put a nice new station there. Also, wanted to say we're looking forward to getting your guys' support in putting that Northern Regional Training Facility here, hopefully up there at the Armory. I really think that's going to, bring in some new hires, help educate and train our neighboring volunteer departments, which we work hand in hand with all the time. We have these mutual aid agreements with these other volunteers, and getting them to a certain trained level will definitely help our response and help us work better with them. Assistant Chief can touch on that as well, but I just want to let everybody know that I intend to be on the agenda the next coming meeting to do the recognition for our, the people that we're going to donate the money for the breast cancer T-shirts for. So I'll go into that the next meeting and hopefully get on the agenda. But we did really well, and we sold quite a few T-shirts, and we look forward to giving that money back to the community. So the next meeting, I will have that ready to go, and I'll get on the agenda. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Austin. Thank you, Mr. Wickersham, and thank you and the department for everything you do for our community.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Patsy Salcido.
Thank you, Ms. Cito. Could you state your name and address for the?
Yes, my name is Patsy Salcido. My address was 816 Chamizal Street, Española, New Mexico. I'm just here because, well, I went to a meeting, me and several of these people that are here, and they told us we were gonna have to move out, but they didn't tell us right away. They told us we would have the holidays, and we get to stay there. They said they were gonna put a notice of you know, to be condemned, but we still had our holidays. What happened to that? We got a notice, but, you know, we really thought they weren't gonna throw us out till later, after they told us that day that we'll have our holidays. Well, that day they threw us out. Lou Baker promised us we could still have our holidays there. That day, she said, don't worry about the holidays. What happened? 3 hours later, they're with a microphone telling us we have 5 minutes to evacuate. That's not right. My son's on a wheelchair. I have my you know, I couldn't do all that. I was in pajamas, shorts, and a t-shirt. No time to change, nothing. That's not right. All these people don't have drug addiction or anything else. It's not our fault. I don't think this should have happened at all. You know, they should have kept to their word. Why did they lie? That's not right at all. It's hard for my son. Like I say, he's diabetic. He's got his feet amputated. That day, since then, his feet are not healing. He's bleeding from his feet every day, and I can't do nothing. And then living in a hotel room, it's hard. You know, it's too much for me. I'm too old to be putting up with things like this. I was paying $140 for my cats. You know, I finally got the registration, everything for them, but, you know, that was $140 I can spend. And then food, you know, it's hard. I want real food. I'm tired of sandwiches. I'm tired of it's just too hard. I can't take this no more. When is justice gonna come? When are we gonna get a place? We got these vouchers. They're not working. Las Lomas not helping us. I don't know what else to do. The housing here in Pajarito says the office is closed. So where do I go? Where do we go? Where do everybody go? I just don't know what to say anymore. I'm sorry. I just want justice done for all of us. Yeah, it's not, you know, the city's fault that those apartments, you know what, I am glad they're condemned. But this is not the way to go. They could have given us more time. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Ms. Salcido.
Thank you.
Just bear with us. Something happened to the connection on that laptop. Thank you, Ms. Debbie. Right away, fighting with us about her cookies just because she's the only one that got cookies. Okay, so they're individually wrapped. Cookies that she's not even offering to share yet. Yep. Do you want my laptop? Did I bring it? Are we up? Okay,
Yes.
we'll go ahead and continue. Who's the next person on public comment?
Candelaria Chacon.
Do you have anything to address the council with, ma'am? Please state your name for the record and your address.
Candelaria Chacon, 816 Calle Chamisa. I just wanted to state, I lived at the apartments also. The way they did things wasn't right, but now that we were issued vouchers, nobody wants nothing to do with us. I've called so many rental places, not one person, the second they hear voucher, they rent it or they don't have no more, there's no place available. I just want to see if the city is gonna do anything for us now that they pretty much threw us on the street. That's all I'm pretty much have to say.
Thank you, Ms. Chacon.
Sam Herrera.
Good evening, Mr. Rivera. Could you state?
Samuel Herrera. My current address is Motel 6. I'm a resident a former resident of the Santa Clara Apartments. I lived there 26 years. I was there when the fire burned in 2002. I lost my home then, and I lost it again now. I scheduled a meeting with the city manager, which is present right now, him and the mayor and the chief of police on the 8th of November. We were told by the city manager that it was the hardest decision he had to make to go ahead and condemn the building, but it had to be done, but in no way, him and the mayor was even in tears, that they were gonna make us homeless, that we were gonna be on the street, and that's where we are right now. Being in a hotel isn't necessarily being homeless. We're misplaced. We don't have a kitchen to cook. We can't have family at the motel. You can't have anybody. They shut off the phones. You have no communication. We may as well have been housed in Terra Maria. I think the prisoners have more rights than we do right now at this point. And as far as the city manager Yahtzee said on the paper, the city is not responsible for residents being evacuated. Bosley stepped in after the building had been condemned and served the tenants with eviction notices. We were never served with an eviction notice. The notice that they gave us simply stated, as all current tenants of the Santa Clara Apartments, as you all may have already noticed, the city of Espanola has started the process of condemnation of the building as being unfit for human occupation. The building doors will be boarded up and windows, and all utilities will be shut off. We have been in contact with the USDA and will provide rent vouchers. Well, where are the vouchers? Nobody has received any vouchers. We got a letter of entitlement, and I wanted to stop real quickly and thank Councilman Denise Benavides. You have been awesome with all of us, and you have worked so hard to try to help us out, and I want to thank you. May God bless you for all you've done for all of us. She's been the only one out of the whole council that has stuck her neck out for us and has even had cared about any of us. Thank you, Denise. I wish there was more people like you. As far as the motel stay, I don't know how long we all have there. We received a letter stating that up to 130, 60, 90 days. I'm not sure, Denise, how long we have there. If we need to, I was told by Lou that we had to get in contact with Maria. She hasn't gotten back to any of us. So at this point, we still have a couple more days there. I don't know where we're gonna stand at that point. So, I mean, you're the only one that has even tried to work with us and cared enough to know where we are and what we're going through. And I really thank you from the bottom of my heart, and so do we all. We all do thank you. Thank you, Denise. Thank you for keeping your word, you know, although that you were overridden by everybody else. Because they did say, when I spoke with Manager Yatsi the 22nd, when the police officers, everybody showed up, said we had till 1 o'clock to get all our belongings out, get what you can out. We're gonna board everything out. The police department was there. Everybody was being rude. Everybody was crying, upset. Nobody knew what was going on. I pulled him to the side and I talked to him. He said, no, don't worry about it. You're not gonna get kicked out of here. If Bosley does not come and actually bring a company in to board up the place, we'll allow you guys to stay there. We have to give them by law those days, which was till the 21st. Well, that didn't happen either, Manager Yatsi. So I don't know. I guess you're not a man of your word, and I was very disappointed with you because the meeting we had, you were very, very,
My name is Juan Rodriguez. I lived in 816 Chamizal. Well, I was a resident there till the night that they told us to move out, and then they come back and they told us to stay there till the next morning. And then an hour later, they come back and they tell us to get out, to get whatever we could, and then they would come back Monday. Monday, we were gonna go back. Our cars were gone. They were gone that night. Thanksgiving Day, they towed them away. And we didn't even know where they were at. We had to contact people over here at the city to find out where our cars were and stuff like that. That wasn't right. That's mental anguish. I go through panic attacks. I get anxiety attacks. I'm almost to get a heart attack of all this shit that they did to us. But they say they saved our lives. I don't see how they saved our lives. Thank you.
And lastly, Crystal Archuleta.
She here? She left? Go out in the hall and make sure that she's not out there, please. Who's next? Hold on a minute. Who's next?
That was it.
Could you please sign in first?
I'm Maria Trujillo, 816 Calle Chamizal. I'm just wondering what's going to happen to us. I didn't get all my belongings out. I left something really important to me, belonged to my daughter that died last year, and it's a cross. So I don't know if they're going to let us go back in to get our stuff. I didn't have anywhere to put it. Now I have a storage. But then they told us that it was too dangerous to go in. And I still have all my belongings over there, important papers, birth certificates, everything. So I just want to make it clear that I'm very disappointed. And all of us are homeless, yes. We don't have nowhere to go for the holidays. It sucked. So have it in your hearts. Pray for us at least. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Mr. Gill. Anybody else, Madam Clerk?
No, ma'am.
Okay, we're done with public comments. At this point, we'll move on to counselor comments. Counselors? Counselor Denise?
Okay, so the first thing I want to start with tonight is a public apology on behalf of this governing body that none of you have received up to today. I want to give each of you my heartfelt and sincerest apologies for everything that you've been through since the day that you were kicked out. And yes, I use the word kicked out because that's exactly what happened. I was in contact with probably every single resident on that afternoon, that date. I don't know how many times we spoke on that day. I spoke to many of you many, many, many times. Many of you that I spoke to know that I was probably as mad as you were, if not madder, because I felt like I also had been told that you were going to be allowed to stay there. And because of that, we had all of you had started down the path of looking for rentals, had started looking for storage facilities. Anything and everything that I asked you guys to do, you did. You on your own made every single phone call that I asked you guys to do to help me at that point. Every single one of you is doing everything that you were asked to do. Some of you were left off the list for an apartment complex, so I made the phone call to Maria on behalf of the home fund to ensure that each of you had a place to stay that night. The day that it happened, I was seriously concerned because there were seniors that didn't have vehicles that were going to have to walk to the motels. Unbelievable in my mind. I couldn't fathom the thought. And I was so upset. I was like, what are we thinking? What have we become as a community? And what has happened to this governing body? And it was extremely upsetting to me that day that some of you were worried about your children that were in school that were going to come home to who and to what. The morning, should I say, that city manager, the police department, and others arrived there to give all of you an hour to get out, I was on the phone listening to that meeting that was being held outside. I was highly disappointed. I did voice my opinion to the mayor and to city manager. He caught the wrath of my anger. At that point, there was nothing that we could do because what had been done had been done. There's no disagreement with anybody that the complex was scheduled to be condemned and it needed to be condemned for the safety of everyone in the community. So that's not a question. The question is how it was done. Could this city have planned better? Absolutely. Could we have given you the time that we had told you we were going to give you? Absolutely. Could we have done it not before a holiday? Absolutely. My biggest frustration was in getting phone calls that night from some of the women that weren't allowed, that didn't have shoes that night, that didn't have pajamas that night, that didn't have a change of underwear that night. And not only that night, in the days to come. We made phone calls, did we not, to Habitat for Humanity, to get clothing, to get shoes, to get toiletries, to get whatever everyone needed. I had a phone call that night that just broke my heart. She's here today, I'm not gonna say her name. She is a senior, she was having issues with her bladder, she wasn't allowed to get underwear, she was in a depend, had no way because she doesn't drive to even go to the store to get Depends that she desperately needed because she had been in the same one all day long. And I ask you guys again, and I ask my fellow counselors, where were you that day? And what have we become? And I'll tell you that I believe in integrity. And when we steal that from somebody, boy, how low can we really go? We're at the bottom, are we not? I will tell you that there is a success story, and I'm sorry that Crystal left today. We've been working with Crystal. It's been a long road. USDA has huge fault to play here, as does the owner of this property. USDA has not held up their end of the bargain. They did not do inspections on this property, and they allowed this owner to have you guys living in the condition that he had you. It's unfortunate. USDA also needs to be held accountable. Believe me, they do. It has been a nightmare trying to receive applications for all of you who did not get an application so that we could go down the path of getting the vouchers. Even the LOPE letters have been a nightmare. I've had several of them emailed to me in the recent days so that we can assist. With Crystal, it's been a long road. And I'm gonna go from a very happy story to a sad one, unfortunately, and Crystal's not here. We were able to get Crystal into an apartment called Tres Santos, Three Saints, Tres Santos, that came to the aid. It's in Santa Fe. We helped Crystal fill out applications to every single business in the facility of St. Michael's Drive so that she could get a job. We enrolled her child in school. We found out she had a warrant for her arrest. We did the documentation to keep her child safe because they had been living in their car, freezing. She was able to, with the help of several individuals, pay for 3 warrants that she had outstanding. Crystal, unfortunately, landed up in the hospital yesterday. She was going to be transported to Santa Fe to Albuquerque to assist her with her issues. Because of what has happened to her and the depression that she faced, and her son now being bullied in school because he has no place to shower, she has taken a turn for the worst. She had stopped drinking, and unfortunately now we have that hurdle to deal with. It's an unfortunate situation, but we're gonna continue down the path and not give up on Crystal and get her the assistance that she so desperately needs and that her son needs as well. She herself took herself and her son, based on myself and an individual who I don't see tonight named Pamela Apodac, who has helped me tremendously, to CYFD, who has assisted also with housing and other services that they had. I want everybody to know that CYFD tested Crystal more than one time, and she tested negative every single time for drugs and alcohol. It's sad for me to have to deal with the situation she's having to be put in today. She couldn't stay in the hospital for that reason last night. She was picked up by some friends. Her little boy and her were safe. I don't know how safe they are tonight. But we're gonna continue the path of getting her the help that she needs and the job that she needs to keep that apartment. I did talk to Patsy before this meeting. We're gonna see what we can do to assist Patsy, to try to get Patsy, who's a senior, who has a disabled son, into an apartment. It's a difficult situation. There's really very, very few housing available. I do have the list of all of the housing available from USDA. There's several, but unfortunately they're not in Española. There is one, of course, that's in Eliano that you all know about. It's currently being rehabbed. It'll be ready in 2 to 3 months. However, that facility is another one that's not currently safe. And it's scary to think about sending anybody there, especially any of you who have been addicts, have substance abuse issues, and have recovered, right? So it's not a place that you should be housed, right? I hope that there's a better place for each and every one of you. I fear that after 90 days, there will be no place, and that some of you will find yourselves on the street. And it breaks my heart to hear that and to know that. And so we're gonna try to do everything that we can do, but it is unfortunate, the housing out there, there's lists and lists of individuals waiting for housing, especially housing that helps you pay for a portion of your rent. The other thing that I wanna talk a little bit about is the position that the city was put in, right? Did we do everything wrong? We did. But was it the right intention in the beginning? Absolutely it was. The intention of our mayor and our city manager and this governing body was to keep the entire community safe and to do what we could do to see what we could do about maybe somebody purchasing that facility, rehabbing it, making it a facility where somebody like you guys would want to go back to live in. Should we have planned better? Absolutely. Did we fail? We did. And we need to own it. We need to own that. So I'm here tonight to own it. I've told that to several of you already, right? This city failed you in every single way possible. I've tried to think of a way that we didn't fail you, and the only thing I can think of is the rainbow, hopefully, that's at the end, that we can house you guys in a decent place. That my biggest thing is the children. A lot of, as you know, you call your family, were kicked out of the hotel rooms. I was originally told that they were kicked out for drugs, and then later on I found out that that was truly not the truth. So it's unfortunate that the individuals that were kicked out were all mothers with children who are now living in their home, in their vehicles. I'll tell you that I spent one night with my husband driving around for 2.5 hours looking for an individual and her 2 children, because I couldn't stand the thought of them sleeping outside when it's freezing with 2 little babies. I'll tell you, I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say to you guys anymore other than my sincerest apologies to each and every one of you, and I'll continue to work with each of you to do everything that I possibly can. There are other people out trying to assist. Ephraim and his wife are here tonight. They're helping me down that path as well. We've talked about a lot of things. I want this governing body to, when they have a chance, to Google something called La Sala. La Sala is an organization that I also worked with Cynthia, or spoke to Cynthia the other night, and I asked her to Google. La Sala is a program that Santa Fe County put together. It's an amazing program. I hope that we can partner with Santa Fe County on something like La Sala or La Sala. There's another organization called Connect. One of the biggest things that happens in our community is that we put together a lot of little groups here and there and everywhere, but there's no help. Everybody has a ton of meetings, but nobody does anything. And so that's a problem for us, and I think that we need to somehow battle that hurdle. There's a lot of organizations that have reached out to me. Jeff Padilla from Compassion Through Action, Lupe, who's madder than heck, from Barrios Unidos. They do a lot of beautiful work out there with the community, and what I have told them is that continue giving what you give, the sack lunches, the clothing, the socks, everything that they do. Continue that. It's an amazing thing that they do. However, they're not targeting the problem. The majority of the homeless do have substance abuse issues, and we need to figure out how we can assist those individuals in addition to each and every one of you that are here today. So I would ask the governing body to please look at La Sala, and let's work together to see if we can use some of the funding that is coming our way from the opioid funding, and maybe see if we can work together to create some of these programs or to partner on some of these programs. And let's continue to see what we can do to assist those of you who currently are still in hotel rooms.
Thank you, Counselor. Anybody else? Counselor Manny, do you have anything to add?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Yes, I do. I think that we also need, first off, thank you, Councilor Benavides, for all the words that you just stated. And I too want to apologize to all these people. That was not my thoughts of what was going to happen and the way it happened. I think everyone can agree that the conditions that the building was in, that needed to happen, but to displace these people the way it happened, I don't think any of us wanted it or thought it would happen in this particular way. And I think we need an investigation, because we were all told that this was going to be at least a 30-day that they would be allowed to stay in their homes, and for it to have been done so abruptly to where they would be called out and being told to leave in such a short time and gather your things and leave, and so many people without vehicles. This gentleman said that his own vehicle was towed. I think we need an investigation to see why this happened in this particular manner, so that we make sure that when or if we ever have to do this again to any other type of rental situations, that this does not happen ever again, and we don't ever displace people like this, and that we make sure that these plans are put in place so that there is a transition for these people to be able to go from that condition of living and go to a better place, and not to where they have been living the situation they are now. So I would hope that we do open an investigation and get some answers. Who made the call to? Who made that call and said, "Hey, today we're going to do this. We're going to do it right now. Get these people out." Who made that call? Personally, I would like to know who that was and why they did that, especially when we had already stated that these people were going to be allowed to live there for a little longer while this transition was going to take place.
Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Aaron Salazar.
I just want to publicly say my apologies to all of you. The way you guys were treated, it is bad. I just want to really, truly want to apologize to each and every one of you. I'm sorry.
Counselor Nanette Rodriguez.
I'd also like, I'd also, I'd also like to, I'd also like,
Nanette, you just want to?
I'm going to close it out. I'd also like to apologize the way that things were planned and what took. You should never have been asked to leave and then for some reason told you could stay and then told that you had to leave, not be able to get any of your belongings, not to get any of your medication or hygienic things that you needed for yourselves, personal belongings. Someone mentioned birth certificates and a cross for her daughter. I apologize. I would like for you to know that Councilor Benavidez refers to the entire governing body, and we are one governing body. But I'd like for you to also know that we had no idea that this is what was taking place. However, we do have a responsibility to be involved and to know what's going on. And for that, I'm deeply sorry. I'm committed to working with you, to finding resources, and I will give you my number. You can call the city clerk's office and get my number. I'm committed to helping you out. Please accept my sincerest apology.
Thank you all. You know, I appreciate all the comments that have been made to this governing body concerning the situation. I do know that some of us were not involved in it until after it took place. We didn't know that it was going to happen the way that it happened, but I have to be honest and tell you that there are entities that have responsibility in this situation. The biggest entity to me is, first and foremost, the owner who is profiting from this. The second entity deals with USDA. The fact that both of those responsible parties did not do their due diligence in taking care of that property left the city in a predicament that makes us responsible to make calls that are uncomfortable and difficult and put people in these types of situations, but we have to make the decision based on what we believe is the safest thing at that time. And I have to be honest with you and tell you that in looking at the photos and realizing that that place could have been a fire trap, that most of the residents would no longer respond to a fire alarm because there were so many of them throughout the day. They become callous to a fire alarm. The fact that we knew that there were people that were squatting in apartments that were not rented, that were burning drugs in there and burning fires in the sinks, tells me that it definitely was an unsafe building for all of you. And as uncomfortable as a hotel room may be, I feel like you're still safer there than you were in that building. Now, does that mean I don't want to help you? No, we're all from here. A lot of you people we know, we grew up with. And we're committed to doing whatever we can to expedite the process for seeing about these vultures or seeing how we can help you guys get placed. You know, one of the things that Councilor Denise mentioned is one of the programs that's happening in Santa Fe County. You know, this is one entity that has been absent also. Santa Fe County has not come to our rescue at all. I need them to get on board here. I need them to help us. And I need them to help you. So I'm asking Councilor Denise to please be the glue that connects them to this situation. And let's look at that opportunity that you talked about, La Sala, Santa Fe County. Let's look at that situation and see if there's possibility that the city of Espanola could have some type of collaboration with the county and make sure that we do something for you all. Thank you all for your time. We're going to go ahead and move on to city manager's report. Go ahead, Mr. Yahtzee.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I'm going to turn this over to Chief Mazel to do his presentation first.
Thank you, Mr. Yahtzee. Chief Misael Garcia. I'm going to call for a 5-minute rest before we do that presentation. Is that okay with you guys? Thank you so much. Decompress.
Door right ahead. So if you go out this one, go catty corner, because you're gonna get out this one fast.
you.
Nice to see you. But this is you guys with this situation.
I feel for them.
Horse is so sad.
That's a short, you know, however what that's like.
Counselor, do you need a one?
What do you do? You know, I know it's hard for them to see the safety issue. I work with, we couldn't even go in there for collections. People were going there alone. I had a collector call, it was an email, call a couple guys to go because there was guys I didn't even know that. You know,
I was in the meeting with my sister. It's not my business. I'm just not.
yeah, she was showing me the letter, you know, that it came from.
Yeah. Gave her till the 21st to make her pay. Anyway,
Not to get.
Happen is,
Yeah, it was hard. People
you don't get anything. Maybe something you call the bill. So, you know, funds, that sounds.
I think they already knew this, so they're saying like the city basically shopping. I don't know where that came from.
I do the minutes in Santa Fe too, so I'm aware of some.
Did you notice? The best thing is, you know what? A lot of these people have been doing this crime. So these guys go over there, investigate, everybody says, I didn't see anything, I don't know anything, I didn't see anything. The crime just is perpetrating itself in the city. I got the map from the city as to hot areas for crime. Everything else that was a hot area was like yellow, orange, Walmart, yellow, orange, Lowe's, yellow, orange, West Side, dots here and there. Okay? That address, red, this like go that big. Because we're getting 4 or 5 calls a day. Fire has to respond by law.
Okay, so it wasn't empty.
But it has buildings.
So you gotta go. 2 in the morning, you gotta go. So,
So I heard, but it's scary, you know, it's sad when there's
our microphones are on.
We're sitting on the carpet.
I was sorry, Bert.
Well, it only built 85.
There's no question. What they're having.
Thank you, Francisco Galvan, Chief Garcia. Thank you for being patient and taking a break. It helps us to decompress a little bit, right?
Mayor Pro Tem, governing body, thank you for the opportunity to present this to Ms. Catherine Chacon, our record specialist for the city of Espanola. She has been with the city for 21 years.
Catherine, on behalf of your department, I can tell you from my point of view, when I was first hired back in April, you were one of the first friendly faces that I ran into. What I loved about you working for the department is that you've always been honest. If I wanted the truth, I asked you a question. And you've been nothing but who you truly are. And in today's world, we don't see that a lot. So I just want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, as the chief of the Espanola Police Department for the last 9 months, I know quality when I see it, and I'm looking at it right now, and thank you for all your dedication to our department, to our city. I hear you every day. To this day, you're still out there. I want to thank you very much, and please accept this on behalf of all the personnel from the Espanola Police Department.
Miss Cat, all I can say is, yes, speech.
Catherine, just say a little something. You burned it.
No. That's true. No, I just tell you guys the truth, that's it. And just because you wear a gun doesn't mean anything.
Thank you so much, Catherine.
So,
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciated you.
all right, Miss Cat, thank you so much. You enjoy. You have my number. You always we're here for you. When it snows, I'll be thinking about you. Okay?
I don't drive in the snow.
That's right. I'll be thinking about you if you need a drive.
Thank you.
And a couple other things. Some of the older officers, I have a handful of text messages I'll show you. They wanted to be here. Some were here and already left. So I'll show those.
Hey, that's good.
I'm gonna miss you, Catherine. Thanks, sir.
The beautiful part of Ms. Chacon's career is that it was all done here at the city of Espanola. We appreciate you dedicating your life to the city and to the service of this community. It's people like you that make all the difference in our community, and thank you so much, Miss, for everything that you've done for us. Thank you so much. We're hopeful that you have a healthy and happy retirement. Yes, ma'am. Yay. Okay, moving on, we're going to move on to items proposed for council consideration for discussion and action. First item is item A, resolution for the 2023 calendar year. There are 13 days that have been proposed for this.
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem, if y'all choose, so we have 12 holidays that are adopted as part of the personnel policy that y'all have done. So last year, the federal government recognized Juneteenth as a holiday. So Juneteenth was added to it. If y'all choose to ratify this resolution, then Juneteenth will be added to our holidays. If y'all choose not to, we default back to the 12. If y'all choose to take one of the other 12 away to recognize Juneteenth, y'all can modify this before the vote.
Motion to approve?
Second. Under discussion, anyone? Yes, second by Councilor Denise Benavides. Motion by Councilor Manny Martinez. Yes. Under discussion, the proposed days are days that we've always had except for the Juneteenth. It's New Year's Day, Martin Luther King Day, President's Day, Good Friday, Memorial Day, Juneteenth, Independence Day, Labor Day, Indigenous Peoples Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving Day, the day after Thanksgiving, and Christmas Day. Those are 13 days. Everybody's okay with 13 days? Okay, hearing no discussion, we'll call for a roll call vote, please.
Manuel J. Martinez,
For the motion?
Denise D. Benavides,
In favor.
Aaron J. Salazar,
In favor.
Nanette D. Rodriguez,
For the motion.
Mayor Pro Tem Peggy Sue Martinez.
In favor.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a resolution 2022-44, approval of the Open Meetings Act for the city council meetings.
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem, this is just a housekeeping thing. Every year, the city council is required to pass a resolution recognizing the Open Meetings Act. So this will be the resolution for the 2023 year.
As stated by Mr. Yetsey, this is something that the council adopts every year as a matter of process. It's very important that this council be committed to the open meeting so that people understand what is going on in our chambers and what items we're voting on. Do I hear a motion for approval?
Motion to approve?
Thank you, sir. Second by Councilor Nanette Rodriguez. Any more discussion on this issue? Hearing none. All in favor of Resolution 2022-44, adopting Open Meetings Act and having city council meetings on the second and fourth Tuesday of every month. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries unanimously, 5-0. Item C, Resolution 2022-40, a resolution increasing revenues and expenditures for the amount of $325,000 for the purpose of purchasing police vehicles in the Espanola, police vehicles for Espanola in Rio Arriba County, presented by Diane Hawkes.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor Pro Tem, members of the governing body. I'm here before you this evening requesting approval of Resolution 2022-40. This resolution will give Espanola Police Department budget authority to purchase police vehicles as outlined in the grant agreement. Also, as part of the packet material, you'll see the requisitions that PD has put together in order to be able to move forward with the purchase. These are state price agreement vehicles and are readily available. And with that, I stand for any questions.
I just have one question on the process, Mr. Yetsey. We're voting on adopting the amount, increasing the revenues. Does that give the permission for the ordering of these vehicles, or does that come
Yes,
back?
that gives permission to order.
Okay. Do I hear a motion for this?
Motion to approve?
Thank you, sir. Do I hear a second? Motion by Councilor Manny Martinez, second by Councilor Nanette Rodriguez. All in favor of this motion? Well, do we have any discussion on this issue? Is the chief still here? Chief, do you want to talk a little bit about what is going to be ordered with this money so that the public's aware of how we're spending this? Thank you, sir.
Mayor Pro Tem, City Manager, governing body. The money that we are talking about is going to be used for the purchase of 6 vehicles. These 6 vehicles will include 1 supervisor vehicle. The same unit price for each one is $37,826. The buildup will be less than the other ones. The second unit is a unit for our detention unit, so that they're able to transport officers to the Rio Arriba County Detention Center. And the last 4 are going to be marked police units that we are going to utilize throughout the department. What I've seen in my time here is that the purchase of these vehicles in this increment assist us in keeping our fleet current, so that we never have to have older vehicles that we're not able to rely on. So we really appreciate the capital outlay money for these vehicles, and these vehicles will be used since we have increased our department by at least 4 or 5. So these vehicles will come at a great time for us.
Thank you, sir. And I also agree with you that it's important to have these types of purchases broken up into an annual basis so that we're continuing to replenish as vehicles get older and they get more run down. We're always bringing new vehicles in. So we're very grateful to the state for that funding. We do have a motion and a second. I'm going to call for a roll call vote, please.
Councilors Manuel J. Martinez,
For the motion?
Denise D. Benavides,
In favor.
Aaron J. Salazar,
In favor?
Nanette D. Rodriguez,
For the motion.
Mayor Pro Tem Peggy Sue Martinez.
Also in favor. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving on, we'll move on to, don't go anywhere, Ms. Hawkes. We'll move on to 2022-41, dash 41, a resolution increasing the revenues and expenditures in the amount of $3,093,750 for the La Jolla Fire Station reconstruction project in Espanola in the Santa Fe County, presented by Ms. Diane Hawkes.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor Pro Tem, members of the governing body. I'm here before you requesting approval of Resolution 2022-41. This will in fact give us budget authority on the $3,093,000 and change, whatever that exact amount is. So the award is $3,125,000, but it is subject to arts and public places allocation. So that's the difference in the numbers. But this budget adjustment resolution will give us budget authority so we can commence the La Jolla
We're
Station.
very excited about this. Do I hear a
Motion to
motion in
approve.
favor?
Motion to approve, ma'am. Resolution 2022-41.
Thank you, sir. Motion made by Counselor Manny Martinez, seconded by Honorable Counselor Aaron Salazar. Under discussion, counselors or chief or assistant chief, is there anything you'd like to add to this? No? We're good?
I think that this one has been, like you said before, it's been a long time coming. When we're looking at the training facility, we're gonna go back to the good old-fashioned RFP system.
Thank you. Love
Using-
that RFP
On this
system.
project, using CES has actually taken us longer than it would have been to use RFP and bids, so.
Because we didn't utilize it correctly, sir. Okay, good. I'm very, very pleased. We're going back to the RFP process and glad that this is getting done. Very exciting for the fire department, the staff, and especially the members of District 3. I mean, District 3 has sure been in the spotlight recently, right? But it's a good thing. La Jolla is a street that's utilized by almost everybody on that other side of town. And I feel like it's something that would be very visible and very used and something very positive for this community. With that, I'll go ahead and call for a roll call vote.
Counselors Manuel J. Martinez,
For the motion?
Denise D. Benavides,
In favor.
Aaron J. Salazar,
In favor.
Nanette D. Rodriguez,
For the motion.
Mayor Pro Tem Peggy Sue Martinez.
Also in favor.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The next item is item E, approval of the annual inventory certification for fiscal year 2021-2022, presented again by Ms. Diane Hawkes and Ms. Anna Hall. Welcome both. Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate your time away from your families and being here with us.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the governing body. We are here this evening. Before you, we have presented the listing of the city's assets. As part of our annual fiscal audit, it does require a certification by the governing body. Based on the information that was provided by the departments, the spreadsheet was updated with additions, deletions as necessary, and the end result is what was provided to you as packet material. So we are requesting approval for the auditors.
Do I hear a motion for approval of this list?
Motion to approve?
Thank you, Counselor Manny, second by Counselor Denise. Thank you, Counselor Denise. Any discussion to come under this item?
Mayor Pro Tem, I'd also like to point out that over the past about year and a half, 2 years, the state has really gotten big on this, and cities that do not have a good inventory asset management program are actually required now to get financial fiduciaries for ICIP money. So this will help us avoid that, having to pay an outside agency to monitor our ICIP money.
I think it's very important, even beyond the state's oversight, as responsible city to the constituents, we have to know what we have, what we've purchased, and where it's at. So I really feel like this is one of the most important issues within our community, and keeping everybody here at the city as honest as possible. So I too agree with you that this is critical, and I'm thrilled that we don't have state oversight on it. And I thank you and you, Ms. Hall, for everything that you're doing in compiling this information. I know that there are times when it's difficult to get a list back from a department, or you have to poke people more than once. And I know it can be taxing and exhausting, but I really feel that it's very, very important, and I thank you for your efforts in doing this. Anything else to be said on this situation? Without any further commentary, I'll go ahead and call for a roll call vote. Ms. Clerk?
Councilors Manuel J. Martinez,
For the motion?
Denise D. Benavides,
In favor.
Aaron J. Salazar,
In favor?
Nanette D. Rodriguez,
Motion.
Mayor Pro Tem Peggy Sue Martinez.
Also in favor. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item F, approval of a lease agreement between the City of Espanola and the Espanola Valley Chamber of Commerce. I'm supposing that that probably is going to be presented by you. Thank you.
So here we have a new lease agreement with the Chamber of Commerce. It's the same lease agreement we've had with them before. They are just relocating to the Bond House now, and it will last 5 years, and it terminates on December 1st of 2027.
How is this cancelable if needed to be cancelable? It's 30-day canceling?
I believe, yes, it's a 30 days notice.
It's 3-day notice. This lease was also reviewed by legal counsel and approved by legal counsel.
Thank you, sir. Do I hear a motion to approve this
Oh.
lease agreement?
Motion to approve, ma'am?
Second.
Motion to approve by Counselor Manny, seconded by both Counselor Nanette Rodriguez and Aaron Salazar. Any comment or discussion? Hearing none. I just personally will thank the Chamber of Commerce for the work that they do for the City of Espanola. I look forward to more collaborative efforts between both entities and look forward to the future economic development and what Mr. Yetzi is doing in that realm, along with the mayor's efforts to bring more businesses into the city that possibly will become future chamber members. Call for roll call vote, Madam Chair, Madam.
Councilors Manuel J. Martinez,
For the motion?
Denise D. Benavides,
In favor.
Aaron J. Salazar,
In favor?
Nanette D. Rodriguez,
Motion.
and Mayor Pro Tem Peggy Sue Martinez.
In favor?
Motion carries.
Thank you. Motion unanimously carries 5-0. Everything was unanimous tonight. I think it's important that this governing body understand how appreciated you are for the work that you do and your commitment to the city. We could disagree on things at times, and that doesn't mean that we don't have a vision for this community. It means that we have passion. I want to wish each and every one of you and your families a very happy holiday and a very Merry Christmas.
There is one last item.
Oh, there
that goes
is?
with this.
Where are we at? I don't have it. Huh, I only had the one page. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
Okay, so we're not going anywhere, guys. Item K, approval of professional service agreement with the Espanola Valley Chamber of Commerce. Go ahead, I'm so sorry.
So again, it's the same as we had before with them, just they're going to be at the Bond House now. They will be docents for the Bond House instead of there at the plaza for the Mission. And again, it's going to expire in December of 2027, and the termination will be upon 60 days with this one.
Motion to approve?
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Under discussion, they're going to be utilizing the museum part of the bond house, or what part of the bond?
The upstairs offices.
Okay, I was thinking, oh God, how are we going to do this? Okay, I think that's good. I think it's important that we utilize that historic building as much as possible and also invest the money and to preserve it as much as we can too. So we have a motion to approve a professional services agreement with the chamber at the bond house in a second. I'll call for a roll call vote again, please.
Councilors Manuel J. Martinez,
For the motion?
Denise D. Benavides,
In favor.
Aaron J. Salazar,
Favor?
Nanette D. Rodriguez, and Mayor Pro Tem Peggy Sue Martinez.
Also in favor.
Motion carries.
I was gonna say Merry Christmas, but I didn't really get a chance.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
You
I
got
was
it.
gonna say Merry Christmas, but I didn't really get a chance.
So there, it goes to item J. There's not a K.
you were to office across the hall, then you would always be able to know where I was.
Mayor Pro Tem, can you call adjournment?
Sure, this meeting is now adjourned. Hi, how are you? I'm doing well. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you for sitting through all of that.